He urged us to tell our troops that this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelations referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. He said that President Trump had been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to earth.
Okay.
If I'm in that meeting, I'm like, hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. What?
That's where you need some of the psychedelics we talked about at the last Joe Rogan, JD Vance conversation.
Joe Rogan just sat across from the Vice President of the United States for nearly 3 hours. And in that time, JD Vance said things that most journalists would spend months trying to get on record. Things about foreign governments. Things about the most controversial files in recent political history. And every single time, Joe Rogan laughed, nodded, and moved on. This video is about those moments, because what Joe didn't do is just as important as what Vance said. There were pivotal moments in this episode that illustrate exactly what happened, and taken together, they reveal something about where Joe Rogan is right now that no controversy clip can. What Vance says next is one of the most extraordinary things any sitting American official has said on a public platform in years, not because it's a slip, not because it's a gaffe, because he says it completely deliberately, and almost nobody seems to have noticed.
You know, there's a lot of talk about how much is the Israeli government influencing American politics, and there are certainly certain people within the Israeli government who hate the deal, and we see exact evidence. There was a Times story that came out yesterday that basically there are certain influencers in America who are being paid in order to attack the deal. I think some of it's just pure political ideology. I definitely think you have seen this very discreet, extremely well-funded campaign to try to derail the negotiation and try to derail the deal. And, you know, there's this Time article that came out yesterday. A friend sent it to me. It's like worth reading because it lists a bunch of people who have quite literally been paid by a former Trump campaign person who was himself paid by certain elements within the Israeli government. And those people are attacking me viciously for quite literally trying to accomplish the negotiation objective that the president set for the country.
The Vice President of the United States just told Joe Rogan that a foreign government is running a paid influence operation against him personally, that people are being paid to attack him on social media to keep a war going. And Joe's follow-up?
What is their position? Like, are they attacking you? How?
How are they attacking you? That's the question. Not who authorized it, not what it means for American sovereignty, not whether this should concern every American regardless of their politics. Just, how are they attacking you? And what makes this moment so remarkable is who is saying it. This is not a critic of American foreign policy. This is not someone who has spent years questioning the relationship between the United States and Israel. This is a man who has stood at the Western Wall, a man who has shaken Benjamin Netanyahu's hand, a man whose entire political identity is built around being one of Israel's most vocal supporters in American government. And even JD Vance, is sitting here saying it out loud. Is there any wonder then that Joe Rogan, who when given the same opportunity to even approach this subject, reacts like this?
They're letting fucking politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out. And it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us and our religious leaders are fucking talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going, I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
Just chill out at the mothership tonight.
I do have to pee in a little while, but...
When Theo Von, one of Joe's closest friends and a guest on this very podcast, tried to raise this exact issue, Joe didn't follow the thread. He didn't ask the next question. He shut it down. And then there's Epstein. Joe has talked about Epstein for years. It's one of the topics he keeps coming back to. So when the vice president sits down across from him and says this,
I say this with all candor, like we absolutely screwed up the comms of the Epstein Files, like we just did. But do I think the reason we screwed up the comms is because we were trying to hide something? No. I think the reason we screwed up the comms of the Epstein Files is one, you know, Pam Bondi said, the client list is on my desk, right?
Well, they had binders. They
That's
were
100%,
standing in
right.
front.
But those binders were largely documents that had already been released, right? So let me try to
Well, what was the
defend.
purpose of that performative display of the Epstein Files? And she was saying there's tens of thousands of hours of film.
I don't know what the purpose of it was, but I know that the effect of it was to make people mistrust the entire effort.
The vice president just said guilty, on the record, on the most listened to podcast on earth. And to be fair to Joe, he does push back. He asks about the binders. He asks about the purpose of the performative display. These are reasonable questions on the surface, but they're also exactly the kind of questions you ask when you want to appear to be pushing back without actually going anywhere uncomfortable. And the irony here is impossible to ignore. Joe Rogan has spent hours going deep into every corner of the Epstein story. He has said on record that he believes there is a story there that has never been fully told. So when the Vice President of the United States sits across from him and hands him the most direct admission, Joe Rogan asks about the binders and then goes quiet for 2 minutes. The questions that needed asking stayed unasked, just like every other time. None of this is about politics. It doesn't matter which side of any of these issues you're on. What matters is what this episode reveals about what Joe Rogan has become. Joe built this podcast on a single principle. Follow the thread, sit with someone long enough, and go wherever the conversation actually goes. Not wherever it's comfortable, not wherever it's safe, wherever the truth is. And in almost 3 hours, with the second most powerful person in the country, a person who volunteered information about foreign influence campaigns and an administration that mishandled the most scrutinized document release in years, Joe followed none of it. Every thread got dropped. Every alarming moment got a laugh. Every question that needed asking didn't get asked. And the most revealing thing about all of it is that it didn't seem intentional. Joe wasn't protecting Vance. He wasn't running cover. He just didn't seem to notice. And that might be the most honest thing you can say about where Joe Rogan is right now. He knows what he's doing, and he's decided it isn't worth it. And perhaps the most telling moment of the entire episode isn't about war or foreign policy or Epstein at all. It's the moment that reveals how seriously both of these men take the office of Vice President of the United States.
Joke. And number two, I feel like I had made it. Like, there have been a few moments where I feel like I've made it. When
You're the Vice President of the United States.
Yeah,
I think you made it.
When South Park spoofed me, I felt it more than when I got it sworn in as Vice President of the United States.
That's hilarious. That's very funny.
A man who just told us about foreign influence campaigns and mishandled government files, and the thing that made him feel like he'd truly arrived was a cartoon. And Joe laughed and moved on. JD Vance chose to come here over every other platform available to him. That tells you everything about the reach Joe still has. But reach and curiosity are not the same thing. And what this episode showed, quietly, without any single explosive moment, is that Joe Rogan now has more of the first than the second. The threads are still there, every one of them, sitting in the transcript for anyone who wants to pull them. The questions that didn't get asked are on the record now, and eventually someone will ask them. It just won't be Joe.
Apparently, I live in a bunker, man.